So Joe, hard pass.
Hard pass, buddy. Hard pass. I love the hard pass.
The liability aspect is something I had not considered, which I actually kind of feel stupid for, right? Because that's been such a huge sticking point for me on the vaccine itself. That if something does happen to me in the future after I get the vaccine, none of the companies that I get the vaccine from are liable for anything that happened. Nobody is liable. Not the government, not the company, nobody. It's just on me. It's on me and you to deal with whatever consequence happens should it happen. And I'm not saying that it will. I'm not fear-mongering around the vaccine. I'm not saying anything like that, right? But that's been my personal concern this whole time, is what the long-term effects might be.
Yep.
And no one is liable for that. Are the companies then liable for that? Do they then pick up that liability? Had not even considered that. But that's another reason, if we, one day when we're employers, right? If we had 100 employees, like, I don't want to fucking deal with that. If one of them gets cancer and sues me before I'm dead, I'm going to lose all of my money, my company, my fucking everything, because I forced them to do something I didn't want to do myself. Fuck that.
And that's not even insinuating that there is going to be long-term consequences, right? But the idea there is that at this point in time, it appears as if the vaccines are very safe, very effective as far as that's concerned.
As far as you not getting seriously ill or dying from COVID.
As in preventing hospitalization and death, very, very effective at that point. And at this point in time, it appears as if it is relatively very safe to take as far as things you might put into your body. But I don't care to hear anybody's arguments that say, yeah, it's totally safe. It is impossible for you to know that. I have a lot of trust in Big Pharma, more or less, to not fuck it up that bad, because they have interest in line. But in this particular case, their liability is waived. So
say they have interest and zero liability.
But you can't tell me that in 20 years from now, if all of a sudden BioNTech, the vaccine that they put out, is going to be having people grow tails or have their arms fall off or something like that, somebody's not going to try to come after them at some point in the future.
They're going to try.
Yeah, but they do have their own best interest in line to not put out something that's shoddy. They really do. They have a good free market incentive to do that,
and the reason,
even if the legal liability isn't necessarily there now.
And the reason I would disagree is because they just got sued and were found guilty
of
billions of dollars for knowingly putting out severely addictive medication into the market and marketing it in a ridiculous way.
Touche.
So I would agree
Did not
with
know
you
that.
had Pfizer not just
and
lost that lawsuit.
What's funny about big pharma companies in general, that almost seems to be the rule, not the exception.
Well, and Johnson & Johnson is another example as far as talc powder. I know, like
talc powder.
Yeah, like baby powder. I know, like
when there's some shit in baby powder,
baby foods. Like all kinds of stuff like that. Johnson & Johnson has a litany of products that they've been sued for. So
massive company.
I don't, and it's a completely personal thing. I don't trust any government agency, and as far as the private sector goes, I definitely take it on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah,
and
it's real hard with big pharma.
Big Pharma is not one that...
BioNTech's a German company, by the way.
I told you, and I told Larry, any company that has an incentive structure is not here for you. I genuinely hold that opinion, and I don't trust a company that isn't here to serve me. You're not here for me, then you're here for something else. Your goal is to get something else.
What else are you trying to do?
It's not help me.
Yeah, obviously you don't have my best interest in heart.
Helping me might be in line with what your interest is, and in that case, that's a company that might be beneficial for me to work with.
Yeah,
but that company,
you know their end goal.
That company is not here for me.
Yeah,
none of those companies are here for me. And I told Larry, even this company, right? This company is here for other people. It's here for me. The selfish part of this company of Salt of the Streets is that I want to be free. I want to live in a country where when I'm done with this, helping other people be free, helping other people embrace their liberty and their personal freedom, I get to be left the fuck alone and do what I want.
Yep.
That's the selfish part of this. Of course, on the road there, and to reach that goal, I need everybody else to be as free as possible so I can be as free as possible.
Yeah.
But the end goal, I want to be free. I want to live in a country where I can own machine guns, I can grow pot if I want to, I can do whatever I want to do, and no one is going to talk to me about it because I've done my time, I paid my taxes, and I still do that, and now I get to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's kind of like a Randian idea of rational self-interest. Like you might call it selfish or whatever it is, but yeah, I guess there's a root of selfishness to it, if you will. But like at the end of the day, it's a rational decision about your own self-interest. Rational self-interest. It's some people might call it selfish, but at the end of the day, if this is a means to an ends to gaining more liberty, then that's what you do.
And so people who would like to go down the path of further liberty, further personal freedom, and generally unbiased factual information about the political world around them so they can try and seek that path
Should buy our t-shirts.
Goal, they should buy our t-shirts and they can trust this product.
Yes.
Because that's what my goal is personally.
Yep.
So that's what my goal is for this company. So if that's your goal, you can trust that your goal lines up with my goal. And even if it's not for you, that's what I'm working towards. And you can trust this product if that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
That's how I look at every other company and pretty much, not to be too cynical, pretty much every group of people.
Yeah.
If your goals aren't along with mine, then there's something else. And it could be counter to mine, it could be something else, but it's not what I'm going for.
Yep.
Which, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Which is going to adjust the way that I conduct myself around you, interpersonally, intrapersonally, all that shit, you know?
So I want to just touch on something you said earlier about
Yes.
You don't trust any government institution.
Not really.
Now, would you say that you can trust them to act in a manner which is somewhat predictable to you, knowing their, essentially, assuming their end goal is power and control?
Yes.
Can you trust them to act a certain way?
Um,
Would there be things that
generally-
they could do that you more or less might agree with because you understand what they're trying to do, but when you look at the grand picture of things, I can kind of get on board with this one because I understand what you're doing. I disagree with where you're trying to take this, but in the meantime, this works for me as well. It's kind of a general concept of, is there any room for trust in the government? Assuming you know what they're trying to do.
Yeah. There's room for trust there because I know that I have faith that there are some people in the government that feel the way that I do. And so in that case, the laws that they're pushing forward, things like that are in the same way that people look into this company that are seeking to advance the same goals that I have, I feel that in those instances I can trust those people, this law, this set of whatever,
This set of regulations.
Yeah, because
apparently
we
don't make laws anymore.
Because I'm not an anarchist. I'm not a zero government dude. I'm a very limited government person, And so in this world of large government, I am very selective with the people and the pieces of legislation that I trust.
pull this
And
up.
in that selective trust, I would have a hard time naming federal administrations, federal bodies that I would put on that list.